Good morning. Welcome. Wherever you are, whoever you are so warmly welcome here. Let's open this morning with these words for contemplation from Martin Luther, who said, "God writes the gospel not in the Bible alone, but on trees and flowers and clouds and stars." Please join me in prayer. Creative God, tend to our spirits in this time of growth. Nurture us with your love, cultivate our faith, and take root in our hearts. Amen.
Be still and know that I am God.
Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me. And there is none beside me. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me.
I am the one whose love never fails.
I am the one whose love never fails, and there is none beside me. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me. I am the one who says, "Follow me." I am the one who says, "Follow me," and there is none beside me. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me.
Be still and know that I am God.
Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me.
That was gorgeous, Cam and Allison. Thank you. In this time of continued social isolation, I think of my friend Stephen, who goes on long, remote, silent retreats on purpose. I think he even pays for the experience. I did a silent weekend retreat with some members of our congregation about 5 years ago, and it was wonderful, but I'm sure we were all nervous in the beginning and glad to get back to speaking when it was over. I've always been curious but terrified about the longer versions. Another friend described a 10-day silent retreat as deep brain surgery. Ouch. Lately, I think I understand what she means. I know this time of isolation is different. We can still talk to one another, and that's huge. But it's also different because we didn't sign up for it in advance. Nobody asked for this. Choice makes all the difference, doesn't it? And yet, we do always have choices to make and the freedom to make them, of course. For weeks now, we've been asked to choose what is really a lovely question in many ways. What is essential? What is essential? If we get away from the practical material stuff, which stores or businesses or parks or churches should or shouldn't be open, I think it's interesting to look at our own patterns of thought. What do we deem as essential to give our attention to every day? If we look at what makes the cut, we might rethink some things. Is fear what we choose as essential? If so, fear of what? Sickness, death, loss, change? Is blame essential to us? Is it frustration, regret, loneliness? What ways of perceiving things do we insist on keeping open? When I spent several years trying to learn different meditation practices, I remember having the realization that even when we don't think we're practicing something, we're practicing something. Whatever we're repeatedly doing or thinking is essentially our practice. Worry is a powerful practice. Blame is a powerful practice. Often, whether it's because of our past or simply our humanity, we make unconscious choices about what is essential. Sometimes it feels like perceptions choose us. Helplessness as a practice, I suppose. But so is over responsibility. So it's worth looking at what we're practicing lately. And then we can ask what it looks like to practice faith. Not in a way that gives up all responsibility to God, but a conscious faith, discerning and aligning with the Spirit moving through the world, recognizing our connection and our contribution. It seems like if and when we get in sync with the Spirit, everything is easier. The writers of the Bible give us some direction. Do not be afraid, they repeat. Faith calls us to practice love, not fear. Then our actions can be led by love, not fear. So I want to know how we do that, of course. You probably have your alignment practices, your prayer or meditation or centering practices, and I'd like to know them. But since I can't switch the camera around this morning, I'll offer two. The first comes from when I asked my 13-year-old daughter what I should focus on today. We were on a walk up the bike path near our house, and she thought about it and looked around and said, "How about leaves?" She said, "It's so amazing that the leaves were so small just days ago and they grew so fast. They opened up. They're amazing to look at." It's true. Leaves are so alive right now, right now here in Vermont at least, feeding off the light and moving with the wind. I grew up in the Rocky Mountains where many trees are piney, but I remember fields of aspen trees with small leaves that catch and dapple the light so that it plays tricks on your brain, like one of those pictures where if you widen your vision and refuse to let your eyes focus so narrowly on the details, you see another picture within it, like wild ponies revealed in an aspen grove. It's not hard to imagine that if we look at a leaf for long enough, we do see God there. The poet and priest John O'Donohue, in an interview with Krista Tippett once, said that the antidote for being faced with pain and suffering is to think of a beautiful image, like picturing a leaf, I think, when we are low. God is beauty, Donahue said. Can you imagine if we spent as much time looking at leaves each day as we do looking at these screens? It makes me laugh to think of the app that would track it and the update. Your leaf time this week was up from last week to an average of 4 hours a day. Which brings me to another antidote in times of suffering: laughter. Humor is such a powerful practice. At Sunday school last week, I asked the kids to find something in their homes that is not essential, that is unessential. We had a really good time laughing about the things they found. 4 old telephones that no longer work, one including a rotary, unessential. A Sharpie pen, I wanted to argue for that one, but it's true, it's unessential. One boy joked that he'd like to share his brother, which also made us laugh. I brought a vegetable that we get in our farm share around this time of year called a sunchoke. You might be familiar with it, and I cooked it, otherwise I'd show it to you now, but I think the sunchoke must be the beetle of the vegetable world. It must survive underground frost and the longest stretches in root cellars. It seems like they might outlast a can of Spam in a bomb shelter. My family has refused to eat them for years, no matter how I cook them, which means they all fall to me to choke down. So sorry, lovers of sunchokes, but I think the sunchoke is not essential. So, beauty and humor in our thoughts. So I leave you with the question: what are the unessential sunchokes of your thoughts that you can replace with beauty and humor today? If you try it, I'd love to hear your experience. Amen. Thanks, Cam and Allison. That's a beautiful image and sound that I will carry with me today. So I'll close us with words from Henry Nouwen. Did I offer peace today? Did I bring a smile to someone's face? Did I say words of healing? Did I let go of my anger and resentment? Did I forgive? Did I love? Those are the real questions. May you go with beauty and laughter, holding God in your heart. Amen.